To support this podcast, go to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Once again, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Thank you and enjoy the program. Jay here, positivesarcasm.com, recorded here from New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast at the Spare Parts Studio. Like, subscribe, share, donate, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amounts appreciated. Check out the Weeble app. All the affiliate links in the description down below. The Jordan B Peterson, the Mel Robbins, the BetterHelp.com, the Weeble, the eToro, the Moomoo app. Check all that stuff out. It's all good stuff. If it wasn't good stuff, I wouldn't recommend it. Questions, concerns, comments, go ahead and check out my website, positivesarcasm.com. Go to the contact page. If you want to contact me directly, you can always hit me up through Instagram at @positive_sarcasm. I read all my messages. You can email me through my website, or you can email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. I check the junk mail. There's some good stuff in there. There's always some good stuff in the trunk. But yeah, find all my information. And if there's a million podcasts out, there's a million Q&As on YouTube, there's a million things going on. But this is short, sweet, and to the point. So, anyways, doing another round of Q&A courtesy of dig.com this week. A bit of a life update. I just want to let you guys know, since this is part of a wellness podcast overall, a little bit more about me and what I've been up to. Obviously, I'm still continuing to run 3 miles every single week in York, Maine. I did finally, I forgot to, I wasn't able to sign up for the Hampton 5K, but I did do the Dover 5K and did complete that. No walking, just running. So did complete that. I look forward to doing the next one. Also signing up to do be a kayak assistant for the Bay Swimming Challenge, which goes on in South Portland. So I am going to be doing that. I'm still doing PT for cardio kickboxing. I'm still doing weight training there. Still doing weight training in general. Also checking on my health and wellness overall. So I'm basically active every single day of the week, and I'm feeling pretty good. But it does come at a cost. I'm very tired. I'm very sore. You've seen me fall asleep many a times on this podcast, and it's just because I do a lot. I work my brain all the time. My brain is constantly going, and that's my decision. That's my decision to wake up at 5 a.m. to optimize the amount of time I have during the day. But, it does come at a cost, and injuries do occur. Soreness does occur. And what am I doing right now to mitigate it? Well, I did get some compression heel socks things, because I noticed that the power of my kicks, they are starting to hurt my feet. My feet are definitely starting to hurt. My shins are definitely starting to hurt from all the jump rope and all the jogging and all the other stuff, all the squatting. My calves are starting to get tight. It's like a banana under pressure. So these are things I have to keep in mind. I can't do Russian twists. I actually compared it to I can do a Napoleonic twist. I can almost make it to Russia, but I can't just quite get there. I can't. So my hips, my turning, first of all, I got no rhythm. And second of all, it's like I can't do that. It just, the movement isn't there. I am pretty flexible, but it just isn't there. I do feel rather stiff. So I'm trying to, do some workout routines beforehand, as far as like rolling and things like that. And obviously compression socks, which are starting to help with this. I tried them for the first time today, and they felt pretty good. Granted, I also changed out my shoes that I used to jog, but it did the trick, and I felt a little lighter. I felt more in control. And I think I'm going to use these going forward. My main goal to use these was for using at kick in boxing, and I wanted to do that. And I'll give that a go tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So all these things to consider. But I'm now at that stage where my cortisol levels have dropped dramatically. My stress levels are not mental anymore. My stress levels are all physical. And you can easily solve that through supplementation and just eating. And that's the thing, is I can eat. And I went from 168 pounds, and now I'm walking around at just over 180. So now we're at that threshold where, okay, how do I bring the food not how do I bring the food down, but how do I bring the calories to a more modest pace? How do I bring that weight down to between 172 and 174? So now I'm at that stage where, okay, the veggies have got to go, the carbs have got to go, the fruit intake is basically going to be the vast majority of my carbohydrates. And even that is going to be at a lower level. So what I did last year was when I was able to get this rather quickly was just basically going mostly carnivorous. We're talking eggs, soup broth, and just, meats, poultry, pork. And my weight just drastically reduced. So now I feel heavier. Like I feel like I'm still in that bulking stage now. And that weight came back pretty quickly, so I can easily take it off within a month or two because, swimsuit season's coming up. Got to look good. But that's where I am right now. The stress levels, super, super low. Weight a little high. The power's there. The routine is there. The wealth is good. I can sleep now without using, what do you call it? The edibles, the weed gummies, the indica, or is it the sativa? Can't always remember. I think it's the sativa. Is it the sativa? I have to double check the package. So I went from 10 to 5, and now I can do 0. But I think I'm going to go back to 5 just so I could really try to get that solid REM sleep, if that's is even possible. I don't know. But it's working out. I feel good. I'm just now, what's the next phase of this health and wellness challenge? It is obviously soreness and making sure I don't get injured. And, of course, overall weight, getting back down to swimsuit size. But I do look good. I do feel fantastic. I'm having an excellent time right now in my life. And now financially, I'm also thinking about, I've now officially entered the next stage of financial where I'm saving up for a second car. Like I've had another car, my winter car, I've had it for 4 years. It was a very reliable car, almost was never in the shop. And now it's time to basically take that car, get rid of that, and go save it for something else. And I'm doing that. I'm still investing. I'm still putting money into the stock market. And I'm also helping other people do the same. And that linked in the description down below will also help you get started. And it will give you some free stock or some free coin to do so. So I'm feeling great about those things. Like I'm really making a difference. Like I'm really presenting an example of what you can do in a short period of time with the maximum amount of effort. So I want to continue that. I'm obviously not licensed in anything other than just, looking good in a sport jacket. But the idea of this for entertainment purposes only podcast, you may get some enjoyment out of it, but you also accidentally may learn a thing or two. And we're going to see more of that in this week's dig.com Q&A. Now, once again, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can hit me up through my website, or you can email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. We are recording. That's good news. Also, a little side note, I found a front picture of the Camaro that my dad owned. It's a really awesome photo. I don't know why I'm wearing Red Sox gear, but whatever. We'll deal with that later. But yeah, that's the car. Love that car. Wish it was around. If it would, I'd buy it. Anyways, just thought I'd tell you about that. Anyways, moving on. Let's get to the dig.com Q&A. First one looks like a real banger. So let's go ahead and pop that up on the screen. And let's get this started. I've always had a clear picture in my mind of what I want in a partner and for my future. A recent conversation with a friend has left me questioning whether my standards are perhaps too high, especially considering my age. First, I've always imagined, what's your age? First, I've always imagined my engagement ring as a symbol of not just love, but also financial security. I expect my future husband to propose with a ring that falls within the range of $800,000 to $1 million. What? To me, this isn't about materialism, but about commitment and stability I deserve in a lifelong partnership. Second, I've always been clear that I plan to work for a maximum of 5 years after marriage. After that, I want to dedicate myself fully to raising our children. While my current partner seems to be on board with these plans, my friend has pointed out that expecting such commitments from a 21-year-old might be unrealistic. What? 21-year-old might be unrealistic and could potentially put undue pressure on them. Obviously, I don't expect the ring now, but within the next 4 to 5 years. Now I'm torn between sticking to my convictions and wondering if I'm asking for too much, too soon. What do you think? This is This doesn't, no. This is not a real person. Is this some wild, teen 16 mom tech-talking lunatic? This doesn't make any sense. You're expecting this. You're such commitments from a 21-year-old. You're expecting in 5 years, you want $1 million ring, a proposal ring. What does it even look like? What does an engagement ring look like that's worth $1 million? Let's just do the low end. Let's do let's just do a $1 million engagement ring. I have to see what this thing looks like. I need a picture. Give me a picture. Images. That is a $1 million engagement ring. Is that Mariah Carey? No, it's not Mariah Carey. What? The most expensive... Okay. Most expensive engagement rings. Look at this. Paris Hilton. Mariah Carey. All right, let's click on this article. What is this? I want to go to this website. We might have to explore this. Okay. The 26th most expensive celebrity engagement rings ever. Brad Pitt, 16 carats. So Brad Pitt gave Angelina Jolie a 16 carat ring. That's only $500,000. Adjusted for inflation, of course. Or not adjusted for inflation. Kate Middleton, she's married to a prince. 12 carats, 500 grand. Meghan Markle, also married to a former prince. She apparently not anymore. Carats, 4 to 4.5. She only got 350. She's not as special as Kate. Sofia Vergara, $750,000. She was married to Joe Manganiello, 7 carats. Hilary Duff, Mike Comrie, 10 carats, 750 grand. Still not at $800,000. Here we go. A Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union, 8.5 carats, $1 million. All right, so the most expensive is Jennifer Aniston. God, she looks good. 1 million, 10 carats, Justin Theroux. Divorced, by the way. All right, you know what's maybe here's another theme here that we should probably take a look at. Not the fact that all these rings cost $1 million, but the fact that all of these women are divorced. All right, I can tell you right off the bat. Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, divorced. Well, okay, the prince. Okay, we'll pass the princes. Joe Manganiello and Sofia Vergara, I think they're divorced. Hilary Duff, don't know if they were divorced. Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, weren't they divorced? Catherine Zeta-Jones, Michael Douglas, still married. God bless him. Jennifer Aniston, Justin Theroux, divorced. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, married, divorced, now back together. Probably will get it divorced again. Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise, divorced. Sierra and Future. I don't know who Future is. Kim Kardashian West, Chris Humphries, 16 carats, $2 million, divorced. Melania Trump and Donald Trump, no comment. Anna Kournikova and Enrique Iglesias, $2.5 million. Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, still together, congratulations. Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon, $2.5 million, divorced. Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, fiance Aristotle Onassis. Oh, that was that the guy after Kennedy? It's the other guy after Kennedy. Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant. Let's not make any jokes about that one. Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier of Monaco, 10 carats, $4 million. Jennifer Lopez, Mark Anthony, divorced. Kim Kardashian West, Kanye West, divorced. Beyonce and Jay-Z, almost divorced. Elizabeth Taylor, she divorced everybody. 33 carats, $8 million. Mariah Carey and James Packer. When was that? I have no idea. But here, there's a lot of divorces in here. And you want only a modest $800 to $1 million engagement ring. Okay, the odds are, basically the divorce rate in the United States is already high. You're tacking on another 25% from wanting such ridiculousness from a 21-year-old. What is the standard engagement ring cost? It's like 3 weeks of pay or 3 months of pay or something like that. So I mean, unless you're planning on getting engaged to, like, 21 Savage or something like that, or whatever the hell his name is, 32 Jump Street or whatever the hell. This is unrealistic. I don't think you're a real person. I think you're just making stuff up. And quite frankly, I don't know you, and I frankly don't think that. Okay, I'll say this right now. This is supposed to be therapy, or like, wellness guides. Let me speak to the men out there. If you are the guy in this relationship, you need to get out. You need to leave. Do you understand that you can buy 2 houses and a Mustang Cobra Terminator and a dog for this amount of money that this woman wants on her finger? Okay? Okay. 1 nice house, a condo, 3 cars, including that Mustang Cobra Terminator, and 2 dogs for the price of that 1 engagement ring. That's to the 21-year-old that is on the other side of the fence on this. Get out now. Get out of here. This is this person you're dealing with is not real. Get out of there. Run for your life. Let's move on to the next one. I need a second opinion. My grandfather sold me an old farmstead that has been in the family for 200 years. Nice. Last week he showed me a wooded area behind the barn with a human skull. He told me that when his father died more than 50 years ago, he was curious about how long it would take a body to decompose. So he left his body in the woods to keep track of his progress. Okay. He has 50 years worth of pictures and notes. He told the rest of the family that great-grandpa has been cremated, and apparently no one questioned him about the ashes. At this point, the skull is all that's left. I checked with a lawyer who tells me that in my state, no laws were broken. That said, I don't want my great-grandfather's skull sitting in the woods behind my father's barn. My husband says I should quietly bury it, burn the pictures and the notes, and forget about it. It just doesn't feel right to me. I feel like I'm helping my grandfather get away with something, and it feels icky. Should I tell the rest of the family to continue allowing them to believe that great-granddad was cremated? I'm resenting my grandfather for putting me in the middle of this. Any advice? All right, well, okay, let's just say you come out with it. What does it do to the homestead? What does it do to the family? Do you really want to upset the family? Is this going to solve anything? Like, are you breaking something? Like, is this like a breaking story? Is this going to... If you talking about this solves problems, then talk about it. If you talking about this creates more problems, then... And quite frankly, I get it. There are a lot of things in life where you need to set the record straight as a matter of principle. I'm not 100% on board with this, and quite frankly, there's nothing here about murder. There's nothing here about murder. There's nothing that was done wrong. He just said right here, his father died more than 50 years ago. He was curious about how long it would take for a body to decompose, so he left the body in the woods to keep track of the progress. Okay, so the guy was dead. And then he lied about him being cremated. So nothing. It was a lie, but not like a lie. It was a lie. Okay, so whatever. I would honestly, I would leave it alone. I think no laws were broken. I mean, there may be some moral things that are attached to this, but I would just leave it alone. I would leave it alone, walk away from it, and enjoy the homestead, because houses are expensive right now. Let's continue on. I consider myself a good feminist. Well, good for you. So I normally avoid talking in terms of gender roles, yet here I am. Is it the role of a wife and mother to help bridge a rift between a father and his grown sons? It's a good question. Let us continue. When I have an argument with one of my sons, leading us to not communicate for a time, she just goes merrily along as if it's none of her business. Sometimes the son needs to have explained how actions hurt his dad, and sometimes dad needs to be told why those actions were important to the son. Sure, the guys should man up and talk it out, but men have egos. Well, yeah, that's how we get stuff done. And in the real world, sometimes people retreat into stubborn silence and resentment. Also true. Not going to lie there. I'm not talking about mom-wife taking sides, but about being a consolator. Frankly, the attitude that she's not involved in these two people's sadness or happiness is one of the reasons we're separated, friendly and slow walking into divorce. Okay. Look, people talk so that they don't have to fight. That's the thing. I'll just say this in generalities about any relationship in general. All right. If you don't want conflict, divorce can be conflict. Divorce can always lead to conflict. Not talking always leads to the downfall of a relationship. It can lead to a separation, but obviously a more mutual parting. Without actual conversation or the willingness to talk, this thing's going to break down. So whomever needs to talk to whomever, please do yourselves a favor and go ahead and get that done. That's it. Just by talking and listening and stating your case and listen to the other person state their case and then the back and forth. The talking is better than not. No communication leads to a breakdown. It leads to this sadness, lack of happiness, separation, divorce. Yeah. Talk it out. Figure it out. It's your best and only bet compared to the downfall of any relationship or friendship or family ship. There you have it. Moving on to the next one. Cruising through. I'm on my game today. When do I fall asleep? My friend and I recently went on a 3-day backpacking trip together, which involves several sections of alpine terrain. Ooh. She's afraid of lightning to the point where she perseverates about it. Persevererates about it. Even though the risk of being hit by lightning is extremely small, there's a reason that you're more likely to be hit by lightning is a common phrase. I promised that we would do everything we could to be below the tree line in the afternoons when storms tend to come in. The weather ended up being overcast, but not stormy for the first 2 days, which was too bad because we couldn't really take in on the views. On our last morning, we slept in. When we woke up, the weather was nicer than it had been the whole time. It seemed like a waste to have come all that way and then hurry back when everything was perfect. So she agreed to add an extra short hike up to the viewpoint before she started back down to the trailhead. It was only 2 miles, so it shouldn't have added more than an hour or so for our hiking during the day. She kept pulling out her phone while we were hiking to check the time, which irritated me because of my pet peeves is people looking at their phones while we're trying to be present together. Because I was irritated, I was distracted, and we ended up missing a turn and going on a longer route. This led us to being caught in a brief thunderstorm, and she freaked out. It passed in about 15 minutes, and we were fine. I tried to explain to her that by obsessing over the bad weather, she had actually caused us to be caught in bad weather, and if she could try to let her fears go, we would have a much better time. This was a mistake on my part because she wasn't in the mood for feedback. She's mad at me for getting lost, and I'm annoyed because I think she owes me an apology too. How do we get past this? Well, maybe you should say sorry to them first. Be like, listen, I'm sorry. We got caught in the storm. I should have been paying more attention to this is something that can be rectified just by some, back and forth and saying, look, I'm sorry. First of all, you asked them, hey, let's go enjoy the view. Come on, it'll only be another 2 miles. That means it's your responsibility. You know that they have a fear of thunder or lightning, whatever. And you obviously went and you said, come on, let's go enjoy this view. It's only another 2 miles. Let's go that way. So it's your responsibility to keep track of the time. They were just checking on their phone. It's fine. They're still doing it. They're still there with you. So, give them don't say, nobody owes you anything. Nobody in this world, nobody owes you an apology. They don't owe you a birthday cake. They don't owe you nothing. You owe it to yourself to keep track of the things that you're responsible for that you encourage. That's the simplistic route. That's the simplicity of all of it. It is your responsibility to keep track of it, nobody else. So apologize for missing the turn and hopefully rectify the situation with them, and maybe they'll be willing to go on a hike with you again. Let's do one more, and then we will close up shop for this week. This last one looks like a banger. Holy cow. All right, let's get through this and we're done. My partner and I have been together for 8 years. We are committed to each other, but neither of us wants to get married. We keep our finances separate and pay housing expenses based on the ratio of who makes more when we moved in together and decided on this split. I made significantly more than my partner, paid a higher percentage, blah, blah, blah. Over the past few years, I've gotten normal raises, think the regular 3 to 5, and I thought she did too, as she never said anything different. I got 2 big bonuses over the past few years and disclosed them both to her, and she has disclosed her bonuses to me. Okay, we use the same accountant, and last week the accountant accidentally sent my partner's tax return to me instead of her. I didn't realize it until I opened it up. The numbers didn't seem right. It took me a few minutes to realize I had the wrong tax return. I was shocked to see that my partner's income has more than doubled since we decided on our 65-45 split of the expenses. When I asked her about it, she first accused me of violating her privacy, then said I never asked how much her raises were, and she figured that the split was fine. We should have been paying 50-50 about a year after we moved in together, and now it should be about paying about 70-30. I know she got a promotion around a year after we moved in together, but she downplayed it at the time, saying it was a change in title. I feel really betrayed. She's now proposing 50-50 split, but I don't think that is fair or equitable. Part of me wants her to reimburse me the money she should have been paying for the past few years, and part of me just wants her to pay the 70-30. She says I'm being stingy, and then I feel threatened because she makes more than me. I am rethinking our relationship, not only because she lied by omission, but because she's accusing me of being misogynistic and not seeing the ethical and moral failing on her part. What? She thinks I'm making too big of a deal out of this, and we just need to move on. I don't feel like she's being trustworthy. I am out of town for 10 days on business, but she goes on girls' trips but for the day. I get back, so everything seems to be on pause until then. Part of me wants us to find a new place and move out and have separate household expenses going forward, and part of me wants to just move out and break up. Am I overreacting? No, you're not overreacting. If you had, let me put it this way: if indeed you had an actual agreement based on this back and forth of the finances, and she did not disclose that information to you, and you were always disclosing your information to her, and you feel like you were being cheated of money, you have a valid argument. So it's your partner. You felt like you were being taken advantage of. I think maybe therapy would be a good idea. If you truly feel that betrayed, then first of all, is she accusing you of misogyny? Well, okay. Offer her couples therapy and be like, listen, I want to try to make this work. Obviously I have some trust issues right now. I would like to overcome them. Would you like to go to couples therapy with me so we can possibly work this out? If she says yes, work through it with her and see where it takes you. If she says no, pack your shit and get the fuck out. You've got money. You owe her nothing. Take your stuff and bounce. And I mean immediately. Don't think about it. Basically, go find your hotel immediately. Get out of there so that she doesn't have a chance to do anything silly, like, file a police report saying you hit her. I mean, anything like that. Just pack your bag and leave. And then announce that you're not coming back. This place is yours. Figure it out. I'm breaking the lease. Da-da-da-da. Just get out of there. Close up shop. Be respectful. And that's it. You're gone. You're gone. You're out. But if she's willing to go to therapy with you and stay through it and work on the trust issues, then it's worth a chance because you guys have been together a long time and there may not be any sense in just closing up shop on this. But if she says no and acts like you're being misogynistic and stuff like that, be like, all right, I understand. I got some things to think about. And just kind of quietly step away. And then pack your bag, grab your dog and your favorite car, and just quietly leave. And then that's it. And then the next day, just let her know. And first of all, when you go to pack your stuff, when you go to come back to grab the rest of your things, the other party cannot be there. You have to do this completely on your own. And do whatever is necessary to secure that effort. You're on your own. You move it. You go and grab your stuff on your own. You move out on your own. And you just close up shop, delete the number, and move on with your life. And work on your finances. But there's nothing wrong with the whole getting married thing. Let me just state that. There's nothing wrong with getting married. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting married. I just think you have some trust issues, and you're obviously protective of your finances, which I completely understand, but that's why they make prenups. Prenuptial agreements go both ways. It basically you can just state that, hey, whatever you came into the relationship, you keep, and whatever I came into the relationship, I keep, and then and whatever we decide to purchase together, we split, based, with the difference being down payments or equity into. So, all right, but there's your options. Therapy, work it out. No therapy, leave immediately. Okay, good. Anyways, we are at just about 30 minutes. We are done for this week's podcast, guys. I really appreciate you sticking with me. I'm doing my very best to prove to you guys that a lot can be done in a short period of time, and improvements can be made if you truly, truly stick to. And people, quite frankly, people who are not around you at your worst don't deserve to be with you when you are ascending to your best. So keep reaching for the stars. Keep working really hard. Keep working on yourself. Try to delay your anger. Try to understand what makes you the best version of yourself, and assume that the person you're talking to knows something you don't. In the words of Jordan B. Peterson, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. So you can find me on Instagram at @positive_sarcasm. You can email me through my website. You can do a lot of things at my website. Also, if you want to subscribe to this podcast, video version is on YouTube and at Rumble. Positive Sarcasm Podcast. And of course, audio versions, audio anywhere where podcasts are available: Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcasts, and of course, Substack. And you can download it and stream it directly from my website at positivesarcasm.com. And if you want to subscribe to this podcast, like, subscribe, share, donate, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. In the meantime, thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing. If you have questions, if you want to leave comments about any of these Q&As, or just comments in general, go ahead and leave them in the description, in the comment section below of whatever format you're listening to. Cool. Thank you for listening, watching, subscribing. We'll hit you all up in next week. It's spring. Let's get after it. Recorded here from the Spare Parts Studio for entertainment purposes only. This has been a Positive Sarcasm presentation.